Um, Sorry, I'm just going to get my screen to click along here. So, how the evening is going to look, we're going to start by sharing some information about soothing. There's three of us going to be sharing some tips around things that we've experienced and some ideas. If you have some questions, feel free to put those in the chat. We can take a look at those at the end, or we would be happy to chat about them in the breakout rooms at the end, where you get an opportunity to chat with us privately. And we will get started right away. So I am going to go first. My name is Amanda Kennedy. I am a postpartum doula with Helping Hands. And my soothing tips, I kind of wanted to focus on what I call or refer to as big soothing. So there's a lot of soothing things that we do in general. There's the 5 S's that Dr. Harvey Karp talks about. And, there's a lot of things we know about, like shushing. And I know that our other doulas are going to share about some of that stuff. But sometimes we need bigger soothing where a baby is really upset. And we sometimes don't know what to do at that moment. And that seems to be kind of an overwhelming moment for people. So some things that I like to suggest, doing a combination of efforts in soothing. So holding a baby on their side, that natural instinctual swaying motion we do, but then adding in some bum pats that can help alleviate some gas at the same time, and shushing and bouncing and just kind of really moving a lot. Another way that we can really soothe a baby, holding them securely against us, but really bending our knees deep, dropping into almost a squat and coming back up. That really deep squat or deep knee bend can really kind of, it doesn't startle them, but kind of is like, whoa, that was different. What's happening? And sometimes just takes them out of that moment where they're just so upset that they can't kind of gather themselves with some general soothing. So we can do something that's just a little more intense and helps them realize, like, oh, wait, I don't need to be doing this. One of my favorite tips, we've all heard about parents who are walking all night and baby finally falls asleep and they're like, I'm just going to try to sit down for a minute. And the minute you recline into even a semi-seated position, baby's awake. They seem to always know when we've sat down, whether even if we are on a rocking chair, on a sofa, a bed, anywhere, they seem to get it. However, if we bounce on a yoga ball, so that birth ball that you may have heard about for your laboring process, um, it's really helpful afterwards too. And somehow they do not really figure out that you're not walking anymore. So it's still a bit active for us, but it can take some of the pressure off, some of the weight off. And it's a little more comfortable for us if we have to keep moving. But babies will stay a little more relaxed. It also helps us get into a nicer bounce that can be harder to do on our own when we're just standing, but babies kind of sometimes need something a little more intense to soothe them and calm them down. We don't realize how much movement they've been used to when we're pregnant with our little ones, and they can handle a lot more than we think. So sometimes using tools like a yoga ball can help us emulate a bounce that really is soothing for them, but also can trick them a little bit into not realizing that we've stopped moving in a forward motion and that we can sit down and take a little relief for ourselves. So those are my 3 soothing, kind of big soothing tips, and I am going to pass it on to Mandy.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm a postpartum doula with Helping Hands. And so sometimes when babies cry and we don't know why, it can be very stressful for parents. And it's easy to feel overwhelmed and anxious and when you don't know what to do. And however, staying calm is crucial for both you and your baby. So after you check the basics, that baby is not hungry, it doesn't need a diaper change, it's not too hot or cold, and your baby is still crying, it's okay to take a short break. You can give the baby to another trusted person or place them in a safe spot like a bassinet or a crib. And then sometimes it's very helpful to step out of the room, change the location, take some deep breaths, drink something, eat something, and allow yourself to calm down. And when your pulse has slowed and your mind feels clearer, you can return to your baby. And if you're calm, it can go over to your baby, and your baby may pick up on your relaxed state and begins to settle. And sometimes the change of environment can also make a difference with the baby. So try move to, for example, a quieter room or a room that's darker, or if not, just change the room, even if it's not darker. And but darkness can help to reduce overstimulation, and maybe that can also cause the baby's crying. Another good tool, Amanda already talked about the 5 S's. One of them is the shushing, and it's also called white noise, and that can be helpful too. It can calm the atmosphere and help the baby to relax. And you can also use, for example, if you change the location, you can go into the kitchen, turn on the fan, and that can calm the baby. Or you can go to a washroom and turn on the fan there, and maybe that's helpful too. Another effective method that I like is singing. It helps you to calm down, and maybe if you have the same song you sing over and over, your baby will pick it up and calm down too. It doesn't have to be a lullaby, it can be just a song that you like. And also what I like about singing or listening to a song can be the rhythm. It can help if you are bouncing. If you do the things Amanda have suggested, it can help to keep that rhythm and keep on bouncing in the same to the same beat, and that can calm the baby down too. And yeah, I hope those tips are helpful, and I pass it on to Shondell.
Hi, good night. My name is Sandal Curtin. I'm a postpartum doula with Helping Hands. I have 3 tips. I find them very helpful. My first tip is gentle massage. Sometimes giving a nice gentle massage, like just stroking across the head, sometimes on the back, sometimes on your tummy, in a dim area usually helps to calm them down. I feel like the lip area kind of makes them a little bit more fussy. So that's like my first tip. My second tip is giving them a warm bath. Usually when you give babies like a warm bath that are like fussy, it kind of calms them down and like soothes them. And then usually by the time you put their clothing on and their diaper on, they're like tired and they're like super happy and all smiling. So then they fall off to sleep. So that's my second tip. My third tip is like kind of like one of my favorites. And I always say when the baby is like fussy, skin to skin contact, it helps a lot. As in, when you put the baby onto you, the baby listens to your heart and like soothes them. Because remember, like when you're pregnant, the baby hears your heartbeat. So usually when you put the baby onto your chest and the baby's like crying and screaming and realize, hey, I'm hearing mommy's heartbeat. And you'll see them like start to like calm down. So I always say skin to skin is like one of my favorite to try. And that's my 3 tips for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy and Shondell. So that ends our portion of the soothing. I'm